Okay, it's recording right now.
Welcome to the Amazigh Dude, the podcast where we explore cultural identities, historical narratives, and the forces that shape them.
Sometimes the hardest part isn't being invisible, it's being seen but under someone else's name. You grow up hearing about Arab scientists, Arab dynasties, Arab victories, but when you look closer, you realize those faces, those names, those roots, they're Amazigh. The land, the people, the stories, they've always been here. They were just called something else. That's what this episode is about. How easy it is to lose credit, not just for what you've done, but for who you are. Not because someone took it by force, but because silence and habit made it normal. For generations, the Amazigh people have watched their stories fade, not by accident, but through time, silence, and repetition. Our heroes were renamed, our scientists introduced as someone else, our history was retold in a language that was never ours. When a Moroccan succeeds, the world doesn't ask who you really are, they just assume. And we too learn to assume, to call Amazigh achievements Arab successes, as if that's what unity means. But unity built on erasure isn't unity at all, it's forgetting. And forgetting is its own kind of wound, slow, quiet, and deep. This episode, Giving Credit, is a simple conversation. Two Moroccans, two perspectives, one repeating what the world says, the other trying to remind her that identity isn't division, it's truth. This is a story about that silence, about what it feels like when your story is told by someone else, when unity becomes a mask for invisibility. This isn't a story of anger, it's a story of love. Love for a people, for a language, for a truth that refuses to disappear. It's not about blame, not about separation, because the Amazigh story isn't a side note in history. It's the beginning of it. And every time we call it by the wrong name, we lose a piece of ourselves. Because behind every name we celebrate, there is a history that's often being changed or forgotten. A scientist who was Amazigh but introduced as Arab. A dynasty that was Amazigh but rewritten as a part of an Arab legacy. This is the Amazigh Dude, and I invite you to listen and to understand. This episode is called Giving Credit.
Scene. Two Moroccan friends chatting, and suddenly one of them sees the news about a Moroccan scientist who was recently tasked to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus.
Wow, did you see that Moroccan scientist who got appointed by Trump to find a cure for COVID? An Arab making us proud again. Arab? Are you sure about that? He is Moroccan, but he is not Arab. He is actually Amazigh. He was born in the Suez region, not far from where I'm from. Come on, you know what I mean. It's all part of the Arab Islamic legacy. Why make it about ethnicity? Aren't we all just Moroccan? Why do you Amazigh people always insist on separating yourselves? No, I don't know what you mean, and we are not a part of Arab legacy. Arab washing things hides something deeper. When someone says Arab success, and it was actually an Amazigh person, that's not unity, it's erasure. But we all speak Arabic now. The culture is shared. Isn't that just how it works? Not exactly. Just like speaking French doesn't make us French, speaking Arabic doesn't erase our Amazigh identity. He is Amazigh. His language, his roots, his culture. Okay, I see your point. But maybe people just mean Arab in a general cultural sense. Let me ask you something. Imagine your husband or one of your siblings contributed to science, music, sports, and every time they succeed, someone else gets the credit. Imagine the world praising someone else when it was your husband's hard work. That's what it feels like for us. When was the last time you heard someone succeeded in something in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, or Bahrain? It is always North Africans, and Arabs always take credit for it.
That actually happens a lot, doesn't it?
Zidane, Gad al-Malah, Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun, Hakimi, for example, are all Amazigh. But most people proudly call them Arab stars. It's the same with Morocco's World Cup team. Most of them spoke Tamazight. But we heard Arab victory, Arab team, Arab this, Arab that.
I guess I never thought of that. We just say Arab because that's how the world sees us.
Exactly. We've been trained to say that. But imagine this. Imagine everything you are, but you are called something else. Imagine your language, your ancestors, your culture being absorbed, renamed, and erased. But do you think people do this intentionally? Not always. But that's how erasure works. Slowly, subtly, completely. And that's why we speak up, not to divide, but to remind Morocco, we are not guests in our own land. We are the roots.
I never saw it that way. I always felt proud of Moroccan achievements, but I never realized we were giving credit to others for what we accomplish.
Exactly. And in doing that, means Amazigh kids grow up thinking they haven't contributed, that they're behind, when in fact, they've always been part of the greatness, just hidden under the wrong label.
There is a particular kind of erasure that doesn't happen through force, but through repetition. It happens when stories are told again and again until the truth becomes almost unrecognizable. For generations, the Amazigh people have witnessed their history rewritten in subtle ways until people no longer recognize themselves in the stories of their own land. When we talk about giving credit, we're not asking for medals or headlines. We're asking for memory, for honesty, for a space in the story that was always ours. That's what this conversation is about. Not to divide or argue, but to remind us that stories matter, names matter, where things come from matters. If this episode made you pause or reminded you of something you have felt before, share it, talk about it, keep the conversation alive. Because when we remember correctly, we don't erase anyone, we honor everyone. That's how change begins, one honest conversation at a time. Thank you for listening to the Amazigh Dude.